I can't believe that no one's made this video yet. Hello world, my name is Matt Spa and I'm a photographer and videographer in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also a guy who hates shopping for tripods, but recently I found myself shopping for tripods and I could not find anywhere a comparison between these two units, and so I figured maybe somebody else has that question. Now that I have them both here and I've spent some time with them, I'll make that video and maybe it'll help somebody out. So we're going to look at these two. We have a Manfrotto 055 tripod with the 502AH head, and we have the Benro A373 tripod with the S8PRO head. These are very similar. I have used this for years. I borrowed this one from a friend of mine, and I'm always very reluctant to return it. But when I decided to go shopping, there were some things about this that were just so annoying that I really hoped Benro would have a commensurate product in their line that I could buy instead. Part of why I wanted to go to Benro is that I bought this little guy, the S4, isn't it cute, about 8 years ago. Last year I dropped it and I broke something inside this whole top plate. I called Joel in the parts department at Benro, and 3 days later I had a brand new part. No charge, no shipping fee, no login, no sign up, no anything. They just sent me a new part. And that's pretty awesome. And that makes me want to do business with them if I can. And I was hoping they'd have an awesome product, and I think they do. Let's talk about the two. Again, they're both about the same size. Speaking just of the heads now. They have roughly the same payload. I'll throw some supers on the screen. They both use Manfrotto, quick release plates. This one is a little bit longer than the Benro. We'd call that, what, about 3/8 of an inch longer on this side. This one will only slide in one way. The Benro plate is tapered on both ends, so you can slide it into the head from either direction, which is kind of nice. They both have 3/8 inch threaded receivers on either side of the head, so you can attach a monitor, a microphone, a cup holder, I don't know, whatever you want to put on there. They both have fluid drag systems for the pan and for the tilt. But this is where they start to get different. Here we have the adjustment on the Manfrotto for the fluid drag system on the tilt. But here we have the lock. Here we have the adjustment for the fluid drag system on the pan, and here we have the lock. This has always driven me crazy about this unit. There's two things about it that I don't like, and well, I guess three if you count that as two. Drives me nuts. On the Benro, here is the adjustment for the fluid drag on the tilt, and here's the lock. Here's the fluid drag adjustment for the pan, and here's the lock. So they have fixed that problem. Everything is right here on the left hand, very, very convenient. Both of these heads have counterbalance, so they want to return back to flat. And well, there you go. This is non-adjustable. This one has 8 different levels of adjustment on that counterbalance. So you can go from 0 counterbalance, which you can't do over here. This is always going to try to return. This will just go wherever you leave it. To a level of 8. So obviously each one of those becomes a little bit more resistant, a little bit more stiff in pulling back. So a nice feature in my opinion. They both have handles. This handle is about, I think, 14.5 inches long. This handle is adjustable out to almost 20 inches long. I like this because I like to rest it on my hip if I'm doing slow pans and I can move my whole body. Then you can, of course, put it back up inside as well. They both have spirit levels built into the base. This one is not lighted. This one is lighted. That illuminated spirit level seemed kind of, I don't know, it didn't seem like a big deal to me at first. But in a dark studio or dark garage, I was just shooting some motorcycle footage. It's awesome. It's a really nice little feature to have. And they send you an extra battery when they send it to you. So, kind of nice. As far as the heads go, I think that's about it. I had really looked at the S6PRO head to try to compete with this because I thought this was too big. I'm glad I went with the S8. It's 50 bucks more, but it was worth it so far. Let's talk about the tripods. The 373 is a bowl style tripod. It has a 75mm bowl right here. We'll talk about what that means. This has a column. The column allows you to make really quick height adjustments and lock the tripod down. This is a great feature, particularly if you're shooting high volume headshots. I could not do it without it. Trust me, I've done the research. The bowl, though, allows you to make minute adjustments to angle. You've got 15 degrees of travel in either direction with this. And all my Benro tripods have it. Even the one that this little S4 went on, it actually has a column with an adjustable bowl on it. I have become so accustomed to being able to make those angle adjustments without having to adjust the legs that it's almost a deal breaker for me on that thing. Now, Manfrotto, in their defense, they do make a little bowl insert that you can put between the column and the head. But every review I read of it said that it was junk, that it was one of those great ideas that was terribly executed. So if you have experience with it and can shed some light on that down below, please do. For my sake and for the sake of anybody who's shopping. Let's help each other out if we can. This, speaking of design and delivery, the column over here is a really cool design in that you can bring it up, but then you can also slide it out 90 degrees and lock it back down. This is one of those things that it's a good idea and it's extremely well executed. This thing locks down solid. I've never had an issue with it, but I've also never found a time to use it. Ever. Every time I've tried to use it, it has not done what I wanted it to do. So it does what it's supposed to do, just like it's supposed to, but for my workflow and for the type of stuff that I'm doing, it's never actually been anything that I've ever used. I've tried to use it as like an overhead. There's too much weight hanging out there. I've tried to use it for long pan shots. It's just not smooth enough. So again, give me a comment down below if you have found some way to use this that I just have not yet discovered. I'd love to hear about it. Lastly is price. This is about $350, I think, as a kit for the tripod and the head. This is $500. So you're talking about $150 difference, which is not a small amount of money. But on something that I'm going to use for probably 10 years, that's what, 15 bucks a year to have all my controls right here. I would gladly pay somebody 15 bucks a year for this over this. So, which one would I buy? Obviously, I bought this one, but I borrowed this one. But I bought this one because I can borrow this one. So they both have their strengths. If I was doing nothing but high volume headshots all day, I would use this all day, every day. It's just fantastic. But for the kind of work that I do and for the flexibility that I want in a tripod, I have gone with the Benro. If over time this proves to not be a good tripod, I will either take this video down or I will post another one expressing some of my complaints about this. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that there's been some insight here for anybody who's shopping for a tripod. I know I keep begging for comments, but give me some comments down below on either of these or maybe something else that's out there that I'm not aware of. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, tell two friends. See you in the next one.